Hi, you're watching Food Whims and Whimsy, and I'm Carmen Di Pasquale, and today I'm going to show you how to make Khachapuri. Before we begin, let's go over the ingredients. Today we'll be using all-purpose flour, a little bit of water, some salt, some sugar, and active dry yeast, and that makes up the pita dough bread. Now to fill the Khachapuri, we're going to be using mozzarella cheese, some Feta cheese, and we're going to top that with an egg and top it with a little salted butter and some chives. So Khachapuri, if you're not sure what it is, it's the national bread of Georgia, the country, and it was introduced to me by a friend that I worked with many years ago. I believe her name was Jehuda, but we called her Judy, and her family used to make this all the time, and it's actually quite delicious. So today she crossed my mind, so I figured I'd make her favorite bread today. So right now I'm just blooming the yeast. I put 1 cup of warm water and the 2 teaspoons of yeast in here, and I'm letting that bloom for about 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in the sugar and the flour. I have a little extra flour just in case I need it, and a little extra water just in case, but this should do it. So I'm just going to give that a good mix. And you really want it to come together and become elastic. I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of water here. So once the dough comes together, I like to add the salt. I just feel like it hinders the dough if you put it in at the same time. That's probably just out of habit, but that's how I do it. Quickly start using my hand just to get the salt in there. And you want like a sticky dough. And this is a basic pita dough. Okay, so once that's incorporated, we're just going to cover it. I'm just going to cover it with a little oil and a nice dishcloth and let it rise for about 30 to 45 minutes. And that's it. So it's been about 30 minutes, and the dough it's ready to go. When you can put your finger in there and it doesn't recede back, then it's ready to go. But before we do anything with the dough, I'm gonna start making the cheese ball, the cheese filling. So I'm just gonna add this to the bowl. This is the mozzarella. You can use Monterey Jack. You can use Munster. Anything that really melts nice would be great in here. And I'm just gonna break up the Feta cheese. Just gonna crumble it in here. Now, this is about 1 pound of mozzarella cheese and about 1/2 pound of Feta. You can use farmer's cheese as well. So you really want to just get a nice mix going, a nice crumble. And I also like to add a little bit of chives in here, so I'm just going to go ahead and snip that a little bit. They're wild from the garden, so I'm just going to give them a nice little chop and add them to my filling. Nice onion flavor and smell. Okay. Dill would be really nice in here as well. So I'm just going to mix this up. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to make cheese balls with this. And I'm going to make 4 cheese balls. And you really want to fill those Khachapuri up. So, alright, so this is ready to go. I'm going to set this aside for now. So now I'm going to take the dough. And I'm going to just throw it right on the counter here with a little flour. This is the leftover flour that I had. I knew I was going to use this for this, so. Okay, that should be good. Just put that here. I'm just going to knead it just for a few minutes. You want it to stay soft. And you don't really want to add any flour, and just add very little. Okay. So this is nice and soft. I'm just going to divide it into 4. And now we're going to roll them up. I like to make like little oblong shape. And I like to just flour this a little bit. Alright, so now that it's into a rectangle, I'm going to go ahead and just get a piece of parchment paper and lay the dough on top because I find that it's easy to transfer. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to take the cheese and you want to make like a ball like this, like a meatball, like a cheese ball. And you want to like 4 equal portions. So I just like to do that. Get it right in here and then kind of flatten it. Just like this. That looks good. And then you want to take like the even if the cheese gets in there, that's fine too, because you can. It'll be like a stuffed pizza. And you kind of just roll it this way towards you, and then you do the other side just like this. And you basically want to get the ends to meet, and you're making like a boat shape, just like that. And then just bake it. I'm gonna put it on the. Actually, I didn't tell you, but I preheated the oven to 500 degrees. And I also preheated the pan, so I used cookie sheets and I put them upside down in the oven, and I'm gonna go ahead and bake that for about 5 to 10 minutes until golden brown. So I'm gonna make the other 3. I'm gonna keep these here and then I'll show you how I put them in the oven. So the oven's been preheated, the pans have also been preheating, so you just wanna carefully put the khachapuri right on top of the rack here, and it's gonna be 2 khachapuris per pan. There. Just fold the paper if you need to, or you can cut it. Just be careful, these pans are really hot. And we're going to bake this for 5 minutes, or between 5 and 10 minutes, and then we're going to throw the egg in and cook that for another 5 minutes. So it's been about 10 to 12 minutes and it's gotten a nice golden brown. So what you do next is I took the whole tray out. It's very hot, so you really have to be careful. You take 1 egg. If you need to, you can make a little well, but this one seems to be okay. But I'm gonna, just for insurance, go ahead and put the egg in. So you just basically crack an egg right in there and you let it cook for another 5 minutes. Until the egg white's set. You know, I think I'm gonna put the egg in another bowl just so I make sure that I have a pretty yolk. Okay. There we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that back, and I'm gonna do the other 2. And I'll see you back in about 5 to 7 minutes. So you want to take it out when the egg has set, because you're going to continue to cook it even after it comes out of the oven, so you don't want to overcook it. So this is perfect. And how you finish it off, you just put a pat of butter in there. You just take these out as well. Now, if you notice the whites are set, and that's what you want. And then you just finish it off by putting a pat of butter on each one. Just like that. And it's going to continue to cook. That's why you want to take it out when the whites are set, because if you cook until the egg is totally done, you're going to overcook the egg. And you're not going to have the beauty that this khachapuri is going to bring you. So I'm going to go ahead and take the other 2 out, because they were delayed by a minute or so. finish them off by garnishing, put a little chive on each one. And also I'm serving it with a zika, which is a tomato and red pepper, hot pepper dip or a condiment, and it's really delicious. I'm also gonna add just a little bit of salt. There we go. Okay, so how you eat this is you just take a piece of the bread and you dip it right in the egg and the cheese, just like that. Just like that, it's really good. Let me put into it. Yeah, that looks really good. Nice and cheesy. Very good. I hope you enjoy this recipe of khachapuri. It's great for brunch, lunch, or breakfast. If you do, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You're watching Food Whims and Whimsy, and I'm Carmen DiPasquale. Thank you for watching.